It is a little bit.
And we are live.
We are live. I think
Howdy
this is
ho.
episode 3. 5 years, 5 mil podcast stream, whatever it may be.
Mhm.
It's been a few weeks since Ryan and I have jumped on, so we wanted to jump on and talk about a few things here. Is that music too loud?
I think it's good. I mean, you could lower it down a tad, but it feels all right.
All right, there we go. Let's do this. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to share this out. I know that there are other people in the community streaming right now. David Feeder, I was just watching his stream. He's an awesome guy in this community, man. Really helped a lot of people set up their validators for Pulse Chain, and he is an absolute stud. So I was just over there watching his stream. Let's do this. Let's go to view your channel.
Get up those hexagons.
We are live, YouTube, copy, and post this out. Looks like we might have a couple people jumping in. I'm going to tweet this out just to see if we can get some people in here. Twitter.
How do I share the link with me? I'll share it too.
Dude,
I don't know if I have much fun.
It's been pretty exciting. I've been getting some traction on my latest song. I definitely will. I'm going to tag you. Come join the 5 years, 5 mil.
I want to know about that, man. After you get that set up, I want to know how you're doing.
Yeah, man. It's doing great, dude. Yesterday it was really cool. I'll pull this up here in just a minute. Ryan Garrido. Hashtag 5 years, 5 mil.
Hope that Dutch guy comes in again. The one that was getting a hard time last time.
Oh, Warrants? Yeah, that's my dude. Crypto Heartbeat, welcome. How's it going, man? Dude, we should have this guy on sometime because he is the epitome of a leader. I really look up to everything that Matt has to say. He does so many marvelous things for the community, and he's just a great guy. Mind, body, and soul. He's got it all under control. But thanks for coming by. And Susie Q.
What's up, Susie Q?
Good to see you. All right, I just tweeted it out and I tagged you in it. Did you get that?
I think so. Let me check. Oh, I'm connecting to the chat right now. I gotta do my YouTube account. Hold on. Oh, I need my phone. Hold on a second. We'll do that in a second. Let me do this first. Let me get in here. Did you tweet it out? Where'd you send it?
Yeah, I did tweet it, and I tweeted here. I'll send you the link as well.
I'm gonna retweet your
Copy.
thing. Let me find out.
I'm never on Facebook, so I don't know if you want to share.
Yeah,
there.
Of course.
Comments. Here, I'll post it in the public chat. Boom. And you can grab it. Oh, there's the private. There's the private chat.
I see it.
I just sent it in there.
I see it. Oh, I see that little nice icon you got there.
All right. Sent it out a couple places. Retweeted.
Oh, okay, I see the tweet too. Let me retweet this.
Yeah, man. So yesterday, I've taken a break from promoting for the last week or so. And I lost you for a second. There you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm connecting.
Ryan Fournier. He is No, it's all good. Ryan Fournier is the founder for Students for Trump. I don't know if you know who he is, but
Ryan Fournier. Who's that?
Oh my! I'm plugged in over here. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. No, you're good. I'm just. Give me a second.
I'm pulling him up right here.
Let's see it.
I'm gonna add to stage this guy.
Students for Trump. Boom, baby.
he heard my track and was pumped about it. And he hit me up, sent me a message asking if he could share it out to everybody. I mean, dude's got 1 million followers on Twitter. I want to say 750,000 on Instagram, asking if he could share it out there. But yeah, super cool stuff, man. Super cool
What's
guy.
his thing? He's just a Trump supporter?
So he's the founder of Students for Trump. And I don't know exactly what all they do. They have meetups and all sorts of really cool stuff. But yeah, dude, it's, you know, we're getting some traction. John Rich from Big and Rich tweeted it out. He's got a couple million followers. He did it over on Truth Social, a couple million followers over there. So we're getting tons of views. Between all posts right now, I think we have over 600,000 views, which is crazy. It's absolutely insane.
Great. That's great. On the YouTube channel?
No, just on Twitter. Just from Twitter posts.
Wow.
It is kind of baller. It is
Hell
very
yeah.
baller. Very, very baller. All right, let's
do a compilation album.
Today, we're going to touch on... You were breaking up there. What'd you say?
So you got to do a compilation album. Hold on, let me fix my internet. Should be better now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to plug in the... Give me a second. I have my wire right here. I'm going to plug in the hardwire Ethernet.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm back. Yep, it'll be better. Let me see. What am I going to
Perk Life.
That's me. That's my YouTube channel where I go over...
Is it? Okay.
Hold on. Let's wait for the Ethernet to connect. Give me a second.
Take your time, brother. Not in any rush. While we're waiting for Ryan to get set up there, give a little bit of a background. We've been doing this for a couple weeks now. Ryan and I have known each other for quite a long time. We've worked together. We've been roommates. We went our separate ways. Ryan moved overseas, started traveling the world, built online businesses, and he's reached crazy levels of success. But it all stems from leadership and systems. So we've been talking about doing some sort of stream or podcast for years, 10, 15 years, about ways that people can advance and move forward in life and reach those next levels. On the last stream, we talked about, we got him disconnected, not connected. We discussed competency and leadership and how you're not going to follow someone that doesn't know what they're doing or isn't able to get to that next level. So did you want to start off with the George Washington analogy?
Let's go. Well, first of all, I wanted to second what you were saying there. You know, like we've been talking about doing something like this for a long time, and things like this, we start off with like a real basic idea, but we're gonna it'll grow naturally, right? As we connect, as we keep doing things, as we get more content. I mean, it started off with leadership and sales training and mentorship and coaching, and it might end up being something more like trending topics later on. But I think we're going to keep doing these over time. It's going to get better. I mean, even we'll do some like in live events and stuff. It's going to be fun, man. I'm really pumped because we have been talking about doing something together for a hot minute. And you've been you talk about me being successful and hitting the ground running. And of course, I'm, proud of what I've accomplished, but you also have done some major moves on your end from where you were previously. I don't know if we talked about this story before, but I remember you going to the office and your Scion TC and you were rolling up there at 5 a.m. every day, and
you're breaking up.
Any cash. What? The internet's not good? How about now? It's not good. Oh, you know what it is?
You just came back. It was lagging.
I'm gonna fix it. Check it out. Yeah, I think I had the video quality on too high def. I gotta put it down to SD, not HD. It's interesting, man. Korea, they say, has the best internet in the world, but the connection is not as strong as it should be. I'm over in Korea right now, obviously. I mean, I don't know if we talked about
Is
that,
that where you're at
but I
this
travel.
week? Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been here for like 2 months now. Anyway, the point I was trying to make is that I remember when you're pulling up to the office, is good, right? Is it choppy?
Yep.
Okay,
Nope.
if it chops out, let me know so I can change the settings again.
Okay.
But either way, the point is that I remember when you were at the office, you were rolling up, no cash. We both had crazy high ambition. And I don't think you remember this, but I started 1 month after you, I think. 1 month after you. I think you were there before me. Either I
I
started 1
think
month
you were a
before
month
you.
before me. Yeah,
Okay,
you were
month
there
before.
1 month
Okay.
before me.
Right. So I remember at one point you were like, I'm going to be a billionaire. And I was like, yo, me too. Let's go. And I don't think you remember that story, but I remember that moment that you're like, I'm going to do this. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it too. Let's fucking do it. And then we've been just slowly building our own situations over the last, I mean, when was that? That was 2000.
It was like 2010 and 2011. No, bro.
Right.
It was way before that. Yeah.
Right. And we've been growing and going and going
2010,
and going.
2011, and 2012.
Right. And we've both gotten big results, and we're still not like where we want to be. Like, I can speak for myself at least. Like, I'm not at my goal yet. I'm still hungry. And I think that you still have that hunger as well. And I feel like it's, it's like momentum. You start working towards something, and over the years, it grows up. Really? The connection's not good?
Yeah. Well, it's
right.
going in and out, but you're good. You're good now. You're good now.
All right. We'll try one
man,
more thing.
It's crazy to see where we've come from. And I think we both attribute all of that to learning a system and being able to apply that system to everything that we do. Relationships, career, spirituality, whatever it may be, it allows you to get to that next level. So
let's get into it. All right, I just want to hit that.
Living room is Ryan.
Very good, very good. So let's start off. I want to just tell this quick story. So it's a quick story about a man who, let me set the stage. So there's like 3 guys digging a ditch, right? And they're digging a ditch in the middle of nowhere. People may know this story, they may not, but it's on the topic of leadership. So 3 guys are digging a ditch, and there's a 4th guy on the outside yelling at them. Like, do it this way, do it that way, dig faster, dig harder, like all these like yelling, screaming at these 3 guys in the ditch. So another guy comes up on horseback and he says, why aren't you down there in the ditch helping your comrades? Right? It's kind of a Russian term. Why aren't you helping your teammates, your partners, your people, right? Right. And so the guy says, I'm the boss. Like, they should listen to me. This is my thing. I tell them what to do and they follow my instructions. They follow my orders. If you think that you can help them, why don't you get in there and roll your sleeves up and do the dirty work with them? And I'll be over here. I'll tell you what to do. So the guy says, fine, I'll do it. So he jumps in there, goes down, starts helping the other 3 guys and starts digging the ditch with them. Boom, boom, boom. Hours go by. They finish digging the ditch. They jump back up, and they come to find out who is this guy. Oh, and they come to find out who is this guy, and it's George Washington. That's the story of George Washington and leadership, right? Is that if you want to be a leader, then you have to be at the front of the line. You're setting the example for other people around you to follow and to lead. And you're not the one kind of like you're not the one just telling people what to do, which is a common folly that people make in leadership. So is it good? It broke out for a second, but it came back, right?
Yeah, it did. And to kind of just build on that, like when you are at your job or your career or whatever it is, you're wherever you're working, you will respect your superiors more if they are in a true leadership position down in the trenches doing what they need to do with you to get there, instead of just sitting at the top and barking down orders to you. I think this is a great meme right here to show. So there's just the importance of leadership. If you want buy-in, you're going to get way more done. These guys down here are going to get way more done than any of these guys up here are going to get done with just someone directing and yelling and pointing. They're going to resent him. There's a lot of things that come with that. But in order to lead, there are different stages that you need to go through, and this is what we're really going to discuss today. Ryan, do you want to get into this a little bit?
Well, it's really simple and straightforward, but it's one of those things that's simple to understand but complicated to actually do. So, for example, whenever anybody starts a new skill, and for example, if you're a leader, you're going to be teaching people skills, how to do different things, whether it's if you're managing a team, whether you're working as part of a team and you're leading by example within that team. So you don't have to be a quote unquote manager to lead, right? You're still a leader, even if you're a part of the team itself. So whenever you have new skills that you have to learn, if you want to be like in the beginning of learning something new, you're going to have a high commitment level. So enthusiastic beginner. So this is someone who starts something brand new. They're really going after it. They're really excited about starting. They're enthusiastic, but they don't really have any skills yet, right? So let's frame this as if it's myself, and then I'll put it in that perspective. So if I'm starting something brand new, let's say I want to learn kayaking. I've never done kayaking in my life, right? But let's say I want to learn kayaking, and I read some articles about it. I'm like, oh, this is super interesting. I'm enthusiastic. I want to go and spend my days on the river in the mountains, and I want to experience nature. I want to hear the birds chirping. I want to see a grizzly bear on the side, whatever. I want to be excited about doing this thing. I have a high commitment level, but I don't know how to do it. There's skills with kayaking, right? I can't just go out there and take on nature by myself. So I have someone teach me, someone show me how to do it. Okay. So I'm learning. So I learn from them. But on that path of learning, I'm going to learn some skills, but I'm going to fail as well. I'm going to fail forward on that path. So I'm over time in experiencing some failures, I'm going to have a lower level of enthusiasm naturally. I'm going to not be as excited because I've experienced some setbacks. But what I have learned is some of the skill. I've learned maybe, my body learns like the paddling motion, or my body learns kind of how to balance my weight in the kayak, right? So I have a little bit of competence, but I don't have that high enthusiasm that I started out with. I'm kind of converting that energy into a skill set. So I become a disillusioned learner is what they call it here. But I would call it D2. So CZ, I like that little throwback. So if level 3 is if you're going to be moving and a lot of people will give up at that point, right? They experience, like the ones who really are weak-minded, they'll give up even at D2. Oh, I faced some failures. I couldn't push beyond that, and I just give up. Oh, maybe kayaking is not for me. And then I'll convince myself that it's not what I want to do because, maybe I didn't really like it in the first place. I thought I liked it, but then I tried it. Oh, it's not for me, just because I experienced a few setbacks. This is natural. The third thing is D3.
Hold on, wait. Let's go back to enthusiastic beginner. So an enthusiastic beginner is anyone who starts a new position. Every time you start a new job, you're always super, super excited. You want to get in there and you want to rush straight to the front. If it's a sales position, you want to be number one on the team. If it's something you've never done. I remember when I got into the mortgage industry, this is exactly where I was. I got in there. I'm going to apply. CZ, you're funny. I got into the mortgage industry. I knew nothing about it. I had to go in. I had to learn the law first before I could do anything. There were steps that I had to take before I could get to that pinnacle. I knew, though, that when I started in 6 months, I was going to eat everybody's lunch. I didn't care what it took. I didn't care how much I was going to have to work. I knew when I immediately started, I was going to learn the laws that I had to learn. I was going to go and I was going to pass the test, the national test. The first time I took it, I was going to get licensed. I was going to overcome every obstacle that I could to get licensed. And I was going to get on those phones and I was going to start selling people, even though I had never, ever, ever sold mortgages before. Like I had all of the excitement in the world. I knew where I was broke. I saw the potential. I saw people making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. And I was like, I know that I have the ability to do that. I just need to learn to know what I need to do in order to get to that level. So I feel like everyone has that story of, when they started into a job or a career that they really were excited about, they've been here on this level, right?
Absolutely. Any new job or even any new skill. But I mean, a job is a great example because when you start a new job, you're pumped. you just got hired, right? You're like, oh my God, I got hired. So you're pumped about starting something new. You see the team, you see everyone else, that already is at D4 level. You're like, oh my, I want to be like them, right? I want to be like Mike. Everyone, has that perspective. So, of course, you start off enthusiastic, but then guess what? You make your first call and the person hangs up, or they don't even pick up, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? You got double dial.
So this is crazy too, because this also applies in crypto, right? People see the money that people are making and the life-changing wealth that can happen in crypto, and they get in and they're like, oh man, here I go. I'm going to be a bazillionaire. It's going to happen. All I have to do is this, this, and this, right? And this happened to me in crypto too. I was like, oh, this is great. This is going to be my way out of, working that 9 to 5, getting out of that grind, doing this, doing that. And I came in and I made a lot of mistakes. So let's go to number 2. So you come in, you're excited, you have a ton of energy, but you have very low competence. You have no idea what in the hell is going on. So can you still be a leader in that position? Absolutely. Even if you are at the stage of the D1 where you're a high commitment but low competency, the energy that you have can be contagious to those that you are working with, the coworkers, the people around you, the people who are on stream, other people on Twitter. You see that, and people will feed off of that energy. So you can still lead in each one of these positions. We're not saying that you can't. We're saying to reach the top level, you need to overcome this, work your way through, and become self-reliant achiever. Let's move on to disillusioned learner.
One point on that, I just want to touch on with what you just said is having integrity. You could be a leader at any level as long as you have integrity, right? And that's the calling card of a leader. If you have that integrity, you're like, yo, I just failed. I'm honest. That's integrity. That's a leadership role. People are going to see that person who's honest about what they are succeeding at and what they're learning at, and then they're going to follow that example. So even if someone is not getting the results they want at that moment, as long as they maintain that extremely high level of integrity, the other people around them are going to view them as a leader. That's just and think about the leaders that you respect, that we respect as people. You would assume most of them have a high level of integrity. And you think about the leaders that you don't respect, they don't have integrity. That's the number one calling card of leadership, is to have that high level of integrity. So it doesn't matter where you are on this level, for sure. You could be at the beginning, at the end, in the middle, experiencing setbacks, experiencing success. You could be any part of this process. As long as you maintain that high level of integrity, you're always going to be successful. No doubt about that. So D3, let's get on to it.
Absolutely.
So D3 is you've gotten some skills. Maybe you've closed one deal.
Did we expand on D2? I know you read through it a little bit. Just to kind of go back and touch on that, the disillusioned learner, D2, some competence, but setbacks have led to low commitment. So let's relate this to crypto, right? People come in and they start to learn, and they learn how to download a wallet, or they don't, and they go and they buy their crypto on an exchange, and then that exchange gets hacked, right? So you have some competence, you know what to do, you know how to look at charts, you know where to find prices for different things, but you still don't have everything that it takes. You come in, you're learning along the way, and then you have setbacks, and those setbacks, and this is where it starts to get shaky, and this happens to so many people. So many people come into crypto, super excited, high commitment, low competence. They make a couple mistakes, they lose a lot of money, and then they say, well, you know what? I don't think I'm going to try this anymore, simply because I haven't had the success that I needed to. And I've always said this. Your biggest obstacles always come right before your biggest breakthroughs. Every time in life I have leveled up, I have had major adversity that I had to learn from right before, like instantly, like days or weeks, a very short time frame from one step into the next until I was actually able to accomplish the goal that I was looking to accomplish. Most people quit here. The disillusioned learner, this is probably one of the biggest roadblocks and biggest places where we can tell people, hey, keep pushing, Keep that even energy. Don't ride the highs. Don't ride that roller coaster of emotion. Don't ride the lows. You have to maintain even mentality when going through this. So one of the keys of leadership is being able to stay even and not ride the highs and lows like you're gonna, when you have setbacks, when you become the disillusioned learner D2.
Yeah, the biggest thing with D2 is the number one thing is you convince yourself it's not for you. That's what happens. Is people they fire themselves, right? You could talk about it in terms of crypto. We can also talk about it in terms of like sales training, because this is like a great example of this. Like, it really is common. Like, how many times people message you, they're supposed to be at the office at 8 a.m. They message you 7:55. Oh, I'm not coming in today, right? Oh, why aren't you coming in? Oh, I just think this isn't for me. Oh, why isn't it for you? Oh, I don't know. It's just too hard. Or name any excuse, right? You can make excuses or you can make money, but you can't make both. That's a reality of life. So a lot of people, they convince themselves this isn't for me because they're not willing to go through any sort of hardship in any sort of uncomfortable feeling, right? Or level of awkwardness or whatever. People are not comfortable being uncomfortable. So if you want to be successful, and if you're in this situation where you want to go from a D2 to a D3, then you have to become comfortable being uncomfortable. You got to break through those barriers, and you have to be able to take on that risk. And, a lot of people, normal, what we call quote unquote normal people, they're super risk averse, right? Anything risky, no, I can't do it. Oh, I just want to go home and eat potato chips and watch the new Game of Thrones. I don't want to have to do anything that might be what I consider a risk, right? And even changing your habit could be considered a risk. Even learning a new skill is considered a risk. People just like to get caught in their own little bubble and live in this little, I don't know, today we call it an echo chamber, but you could just say in your own little world, and they just get focused on what they can already do. And they say, oh, that's just me. That's me. Hey, Fred, I don't want to learn something new. That's me. That's just who I am, bro. That's the type of person who gets stuck in this trap. So what we got to do is we got to understand, no, you got to break through your current ways of thinking. For example, if you want a different result, guess what? Your actions led to the result of where you are today. So if you want a different result, you got to change your actions. And this is where people break through the D2 level to get to the D3. Is they have to be willing to let go of their previous selves and to take on a new pair of clothes. Another thing that I like to talk about, I got this actually from Joe Rogan, is that he uses the ideas. Your ideas are not you. They're like clothes that you put on, right? So if I believe something, that idea is just some clothes that I wear that day. I could put on a new set of clothes. Those ideas aren't me. I am something outside of those ideas. So
it is very important to update those view. Of course. Absolutely. Yeah. All super good stuff, man. A lot of people in the comments here: fail forward, fall looking up, get back up. Yep. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, easier said than done.
Yeah. We talk about this all the time. You are a direct result of your prior thoughts and actions. And if you want to see something different, if you want a different result, you're going to have to change your thoughts and you're going to have to change your actions. Sometimes you can get away a little bit if you change one or the other, but really you need both in order for that to happen. You really, really, really need to change your thoughts and change your actions. The whole, oh, this is me. Yeah, it's that, okay, cool. If that's who you choose to be, everything in life is a choice. Everything in life is a decision. If that's who you choose to be, if that's what you want to be, then, that's the decision you make. But to have the toxic mentality that I can't, or this is who I am, I'm not able to do something, that is where we see most people not accomplishing what they ever want to in their life.
100%. I mean, how many times have you seen that? I mean, countless, right? I mean, how many people have you met? Right. And they're just like, oh, that doesn't work for me, or this doesn't work in my market, or this doesn't work, maybe that worked for you, but it doesn't work, for me, for X reason.
Right.
Insert any excuse, right? Rather than, because I want to just say that's a way of making myself feel good. oh, okay,
Yeah,
I feel better because that's what you can do, but you have some special circumstance which allows you to do that. And I don't have that condition, therefore it's not
correct.
possible for me. Right?
It's a deflection, and we've touched on this on
Yep.
every single stream that we've done. It's not taking accountability and responsibility for your own actions and behavior. It really is. It just comes down to accountability at the end of the day.
Extreme accountability. That's what Jocko Willink
Yep.
says. If you want to be a Navy
Oh,
SEAL.
yeah. So capable but cautious performer, D3, we're progressing through here. You now have started to grow your competence. You're developing your education, the how to, that the way to overturn objections or how to use a computer system, whatever it may be. But the level of commitment varies, right? So you can be someone who has come in, you have the knowledge, but you're not committed. You're still not going to reach the level that you need to without commitment, taking that responsibility and holding yourself accountable to it, which brings us to the fourth and the highest level of competency in leadership, self-reliant achiever.
Before we get into
High
four,
competence and commitment. Yeah,
I want to hit on three real quick before we move on to four. Is just that
sure.
If you consider the learning curve, right? This is really the learning curve. So as you get to the top of the learning curve, then you're going through all these obstacles. So maybe you've experienced, 50% or 40% of the obstacles in D2, but guess what? The obstacles get even harder in D3. So you're getting better, but growth is like an up and down trajectory. It's not a straight line up. So you might have one day where you're doing really great, another day where you're not doing so well, another day where you're doing great, and it goes up and down like this until you learn how to manage your emotions, how to manage yourself well, effectively, and how to lead yourself well. Then you start to see all of these results start to balance out, and you start to become more flatline and more okay with whatever result comes your way, because you recognize that failing forward is just part of the game. And your commitment varies because those things, like, you got through. I would use the example of, like, if there's small rocks. This is not the rock example. I'm using a different reference. You got small rocks, middle-sized rocks, and big rocks. It's like D2, you've gotten through the small rocks, you've gotten through the middle rocks, but you're still not good enough to get through those hard rocks, big rocks yet. So you got to learn and go through all those training to get good enough to be able to handle those big rocks. And then in D3, you have some skill, you know how to break it down, you know the right angles, the right way to find the weak spot in the rock to break it, but you know how to use those little, like, those little metal poles in the rocks to split them in half, But you gotta have some competence, but your commitment, it varies. You're like, oh, today I feel great, the next day I don't feel so great. And so you're kind of in between, but don't give up. This is such critical because you're talking about, like, giving up right before the end. This is what happens in D3, is that people think they're going to be able to do it. They work through some of the small problems, but they get to the big problems, the big things, and they're not able to really work through that big, that 9 a.m. phone call that you just lost one of your biggest clients or whatever it might be, right? You wake up, you look at your phone, and there's a huge setback. And you're like, man, my whole world just crashed down. What are you going to do? You're going to put your suit on, you're going to put your tie on, you're going to go out there and you're going to hit the ground even harder than you were before. And that's where it's most important to just muster all the strength that you can to keep that commitment, because the competence is going to keep growing. And then you get to the promised land of D4, where you have high competence and high commitment, where you've really just kind of broken through and you've been through all the trends. And now you have the foresight to know, oh, problems are coming up. You see the problems before they even happen because you've already experienced them.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the highest level and the greatest leadership ever are the ones who know what they're talking about and are committed to reach the goals that we have set as a team, right? No matter what it is you're on, no matter what it is you're doing. When I think of a self-reliant achiever, I really do think of Richard Hart, the founder of Hex, Pulse X. He is very smart, extremely smart. He has a very high level of competence and a very vast majority of things. not everything, but in most things, he has a very high competence in, and he's committed to the goal. He's committed to the community. He's committed to himself. He is committed to his projects, and we're seeing this right now play out, fighting the SEC and going through and getting the community behind him with the support that everyone's been able to do with sending in letters and doing all sorts of stuff. It's really awesome to see. Most people would settle in his situation, but it looks like he's gonna jump up and punch these guys right in the mouth. It looks like things are moving in a really, really cool direction. But yeah, man. So and that is no surprise why he has so many followers on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, and so many people who have bought into his message throughout the world of personal sovereignty and fix the money, fix the world. It's really cool to see that. So for anyone watching who is in the crypto realm, these are ways that you can find true leadership and be a true leader in everything
and do
that
it
you do
in your daily life, because people, one mind is great. Like there's the story of the horses, right? Like a Clydesdale. I don't know the exact weight exactly, but one horse can carry something like 400 pounds. It might be something like that, but I don't know the exact pounds, but two horses can carry something like 1,200 pounds. It's way more than 2x, right?
Yeah.
So if you are a leader, then people are going to flock to your vision. And they're going to support you in your projects because they agree with what you're doing and they have buy-in. So if you can get more people on your side, then you're going to have more power to manifest or to create what you want in this world. Some people try to do it themselves. It doesn't work. You want a big team. You want a lot of people pushing you forward and giving you that energy. And that's how you 5x, 10x, 20x your results, is by getting this massive support of a whole bunch of people. And just like, you mentioned Robert Hart. Is Robert Hart, right? Robert Hart, right? Richard Hart. Yeah.
Richard.
Right. So this is not his first project. I can almost guarantee it, right? So for example, I can imagine that he's done multiple things before he came into Hex, right? He had multiple other projects he worked on, and he took all those experiences that he learned and that he failed on or that didn't really hit. And then he took all that knowledge and he kept moving forward. He kept failing forward, and he found something which kind of tapped into the zeitgeist, which really provides a solution for a real problem that people kind of resonate with. So it doesn't always work on the first project, right? I mean, I can't describe how many projects I've worked on that didn't hit the way I wanted them to, but then 1 out of every 10 or 20 or 30 or 100 worked. And that is what I'm known. That's like what you're known for, is the ones that work, not all the ones that don't work. So it's easy to be disillusioned in life and to fail before you even begin. Oh, here it is. Okay, let's see it. 32.
Two trained horses in tandem can actually pull 32,000 pounds, which is a load 4 times as heavy as either of the horses could pull by themselves. The powerful lessons that these magnificent draft horses teach us involve not only teamwork, but coordinated and trained collaboration.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
100%.
How much of that goes into mentality?
Right. It's just people try to be like a solo dolo. They try to be like a lone wolf, and they want to just do it all themselves, but it's just not possible. I mean, you can get some results, but you're not getting 4x, and that's just with 2. Imagine you have 4 or 10 or 20, and then that number goes up more than 4x. It goes 8x, 10x,
exponentially.
High.
Correct.
Absolutely. Yep. I'm sure there's diminishing returns at some point, but I mean, it really grows. Maybe there is no diminishing returns. I don't know the math on that, but for sure it compounds and gets really, really much more powerful. So don't be a lone wolf, man. Be a Clydesdale, or what do they call it? A tandem horse? It's a Clydesdale,
tandem
right?
Tandem horse.
They say what?
2 trained horses.
Tandem is just together.
I think it's any horse. I think it's any horse.
Oh.
I don't think it's specifically just one breed.
Right. Either way, the main focus is you gotta work together, and you have to have, and you could be even a family is a team, right? Like it doesn't matter what type of situation you're in. you're in a team somewhere, whether it's your work, whether it's your home life, whether it's like your church, whatever it is that you do, you're in a team. So you can be the example in that team, and you can have that level of integrity, and then people are going to support you. And the thing is that when you show yourself as a leader and you show yourself as an individual with high integrity, opportunities flow to you like water. So many people, hey, do you want to work on me? You want to work with me on this? Hey, I know you mentioned that you were interested in this thing. I have this opportunity for you. You just get, the world just brings you everything you need. So we really, this is something that just starts from within yourself. You change your own mentality, and then the world will change around you. So many people place blame on others and say, oh, I'm a victim of my circumstances, I can't change my surroundings, but they don't really talk about changing themselves. And then when you change what you are, then everything around you changes. So we can be that example for the world. And it could be in crypto, it could be in your own entrepreneurial adventure, it could be in like anything that you want to do, that you want to achieve. I heard a phrase. I posted to my Facebook. I know you don't go on Facebook, so you probably didn't see it. But it says, the guy, it was just a one-liner, two-liners. The guy said, how big would you dream if you knew you could never fail? And if we adopted that kind of mentality, just let that hit for a second. How big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail?
That's crazy to think about. I say that all the time, man. And we've said it on this stream. Like, your goals should be so big. You should be thinking so big that when you tell them to people, they laugh at you. Because most people just don't think that it's capable. You know, most people don't think that you're able to do it. So, yeah, man, this is all really, really, really good stuff. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on? As far as...
This is the main things when it comes to the competency levels. We had just referenced this in the previous one, so I wanted to actually hit on it. We also referenced the George Washington story. We can talk about this, but this is more directly related to coaching. I mean, this is like, the best example or the best reference point I have for this is like paperwork. You know, when we're doing paperwork, you know, when we have a customer signed up and we're signing paperwork. So like S1, okay, so this is a different thing. Let's go into this. This is actually quite reasonable. So we have the D1, D2, D3, D4 above, which we just talked about. And then we have the coaching part. So if you're actually training someone else. So under D1, you have, it's a little bit small. Let me make it full screen. I know what it is, but I want to get the right verbiage here. High directive and low supportive. Yeah. So this is when you're actually showing somebody what they're doing. So we would say, like, if I'm doing paperwork, for example, in the old sales job, I would show them what I'm doing. Hey, here's what I'm doing. Watch me do it. Okay, so I'm going to do it. Now you're going to watch me. Now you're not doing anything in the beginning. You're just watching. Maybe take some notes and try to gather and soak up as much of the training as you can. 2 is where we're going to do it together. So I'm going to go with you step by step by step, and we're going to go through it line item by line item, and I'm going to explain, and we're going to do it together. Now you're going to do actually the actual writing so you can remember it, but I'm going to actually do it together with you. 3 is where you're going to do it, and then I'm going to support you. So I'm going to help you. You're going to actually be doing everything, but I'm going to be right next to you and helping you do it. If you make a mistake, I'm going to catch the mistake. I'm going to be kind of like a silent partner, just kind of watching from behind, making sure you're doing everything right. And I'm going to just be there for questions and guidance. 4 is where you are independent, where you can do it without me and you have that ability. I can just say, hey, make sure you do your paperwork, and you can just go do it because you already know how to do it. So this is the path of teaching somebody, right? Showing, doing it together, supporting, and then having them do it independently. One thing I want to mention about this is that this is per skill, right? So I could be an S1, or I could be like a really low level in this skill, but a really high level in another skill. So you have to consider each individual skill as where you are in this path, whether you need to be coached, whether you need to be supported, or whether you can accept just delegation. So this is all really, really powerful stuff when you're coaching other people or learning.
Oh yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
We've been through this so many
Absolutely.
times. How many times have you used this?
Bro, I just couldn't keep count, right? Like,
It's
especially if you have a team. And that was the great thing about when we worked together at the company that we did, is you could come in, everyone started at entry level. And then if you hit certain numbers, you got promoted into leadership. Once you got into leadership, you started to learn what it took to be a good leader, how to build a team, how to interview, how to maintain the momentum, how to stay even, so many different things, how to manage your money, how to do this, how to do that. Once you've gotten into this path, you were able to, we had people on our teams that were taking out interviews within a week of becoming a leader, starting to build their teams already. So this is one of the amazing things about that company that we worked for. You could come in and immediately work your way into a leadership role and grow and develop your team and into a team that produced and created more leaders, right? Leaders don't create followers. True leaders create leaders. And when I see people who are creating followers and I see a bunch of simps online like, oh, this guy's a great leader. No, great leaders create leaders, not a bunch of simp followers. So make sure that you guys keep that in mind. But yeah, man, we had to implement this on a daily basis, and even moving into new careers when we left there and different adventures in life, we still apply this all the time.
I mean, even now with my team, I have to train them on new skills, right? I have to learn it first, and I have to train them on how to do it. And when I train them on how to do it, I have to know where they are in this process. Like, do they need just direction? I have to just do it myself, and then just have them watch me. And then I have to like sit with them and show them step by step. And then I have to watch them do it. And then I have to delegate it. And then I have to inspect what I expect, right? I expect them to do it. Even when they're in S4, I still have to inspect and see what they're doing to make sure that it's being done properly, right? So we use that term, inspect what you expect. If I have an expectation from my team, then I have to constantly inspect their work to make sure they're matching the expectation or the standard, right? If I lose my standards, then the whole team drops. Then nothing is successful.
It's crazy how this also applies to being a parent, right? If you have a child, doesn't matter the age at all. Like, you can apply all of this stuff to being a parent and elevate your leadership role as a parent, right? I've got one kid, and he's still young. He's still learning a lot. Just started preschool, and but there's things that I can teach him and show him along the way, and work and grow and develop these things. So at first, when we were teaching him in the morning, when he wakes up, the first thing he needs to do before he can come out of his room is make his bed, right? He's got chores in his room. So the first time I showed him how to make the bed, and that took a couple times, showed him. Then we moved to the next level, me making the bed with him, showing him, okay, you pull everything back, you set the pillows in place, you pull the sheet up, you tuck that in on the sides, you pull the blanket up, you tuck that in on the sides, and then you put the other pillows on top. Boom, 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 boom. Dude, I was so proud. This morning I wake up, and we have a camera in his room, right? So wake up, and I see his light on in there, and I'm like, all right, what's this dude doing? And I pull it up, and he has his blanket pulled back, like the top blanket pulled back. He's got the pillows down, he's got the sheet up, and he's like tucking in the sheet down along the side of the bed. And like, I had never been more proud as a parent, right? And he's been doing this now for a while. I think we started this at least a year ago. He was making his bed when he was, he may have been 2, almost 3, and now he's just recently turned 4. So just to see him come from where he was, obviously not knowing anything, to where he is now with a schedule and different guidelines and reaching those and being able to delegate that to him, knowing that it's going to happen, man. It's such a great feeling to see him growing and doing all that stuff. Same thing for when you're on our teams, man. He really is, man. And I know I brag about him a lot, but
it's crazy. Nah, dude, brag all day.
And I love my parents, right? My parents did as my parents, I had a hard path because I was stubborn. So my parents did with me as well as they could, as well as they knew how. But they also had us when they were super young. Um, Amber and I were, we're in our late 30s, early 40s. So now what we have learned through our life, we can now better equip our children with what our parents really didn't know or have that much experience of. So it's crazy to see this next generation and where they're going to be if parents do the right thing, right? So I am really, 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 really excited to see, the fruits of their labors. And
I mean,
I have
so many
friends who have
people.
kids in middle school. One
I
more
was just
thing.
saying, so
I
many
have friends who
people.
have
Yeah, go
kids in
ahead. Go
middle
ahead.
school. Friends who have kids in middle school, and they're like, man, I can't get them to do this or that or this or that. And the first question I ask them, do they make their bed when they get up in the morning? Are they required to make their bed when they get up in the morning? And it seems like something so simple. And I swear this has come up, I think, on every single stream. If you want to establish yourself, make your bed as soon as you get up in the morning. It just sets the day off different. It gives yourself some sort
I
of
do it.
responsibility and a sense of accomplishment. I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you saying there?
No, you're good. That's good stuff. I was just gonna say that he's gonna have such a leg up because so many parents and so many kids are going in the wrong direction these days. So just by the nature of not going in the wrong direction, even if he does half of the things well as he gets older, he's gonna be so far ahead of the average, right? Which is gonna set him up for such a huge success later on. Sometimes I used to blame my parents in my mind, previously, oh, they didn't teach me simple things like make your bed. They didn't teach me I didn't learn any musical instrument when I was young. I wish I would have learned. I would have had more discipline when I was younger because I would be a better person today if I had that discipline when I was younger. I quit stuff so early. I did every sport for one season or half a season. I did taekwondo, I did basketball. I did all these different things, right? And I never followed through on them. And it took me until I'm in my 20s to build the habit of follow through and discipline. And then I feel like I lost 10, 20 years of my life. And I wish I would have had that at a younger age. So but same situation. My parents did the best they could, right? And I can't, you can't blame them because they were also young. My parents were in their early 20s when they had me. Now I'm thinking I'm older than they were when I was born. It's nuts to think about, right? But when you're young, you just think about them as the older person.
The adult, really that's
different.
like what we were talking about before we started the stream. It's like, man, when I was 18, I thought 40 was old as shit. And now I'm 40 and I'm like, damn, I still feel young. I feel like I'm 18, but I'm old as shit. But no. It doesn't feel like I'm that old, right? I still feel like I'm that young. So it's interesting to see. It's definitely interesting to see.
100%.
Did you have a birthday recently?
The 29th. It was just last week or a few days ago.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
What? Yeah, man. 35. I'm the old mother trucker.
Man, you are so old.
I know. It's crazy.
You're so young.
You're
so
5 years
our buddy
older
Justin that we used to six. I'm 6 years older.
Oh, 6.
So
okay.
our buddy Justin, who we both know that worked at that company with us and then got me into the mortgage industry. I was golfing with him last week and he was like, yeah, man, I thought he was older than he was. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm 35. And I'm like, what? It just made me feel so old, bro. I was like, golly, man. Lifetime goes so fast. It goes so fast. And the older you get, the faster time goes.
It's nuts. I feel like if sometimes I have regret, right? If I can go back and change this or change that, but then I think deeper, and I'm like, no, I wouldn't change those things because that's what brought me to where I am, and I'm so happy with my life today that it's I wouldn't want to change anything that happened previously because then I wouldn't have known to do this thing that I did that ended up working. I had to fail, I had to make mistakes. I had to learn these things in order to be where I am today. Making,
Of
doing
course.
millions of dollars in revenue, having big teams, selling products and doing all these things. I
Yep.
wouldn't, and traveling around the world, being in a different country every month, having apartments in different countries, like having this whole infrastructure that I've created. I wouldn't be where I'm at if I wouldn't have gotten and handled all that rejection in the field, for example.
Right.
If I wouldn't have been able to just get that no and think, oh, no means next. Let me find my person for today. And if I didn't have that built into me when I was young, or when I went through that my own adversity, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So it's just been it's really a blessing, man. It was really like when things happen nowadays that I don't like, or that I don't like things that don't go the way I want them to do. I'm grateful. I'm just grateful because that's going to lead to something even better, even greater. So something bad happens. I'm like, okay, thank you. Let's keep it going. Yeah, that's hard to deal with. That's an obstacle. But guess what? I'm going to go around it, through it, under it, over it, break it down. Whatever it is, I'm going to figure out how to get there. I'm like water. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Whatever happens, I'm going to get through to the goal.
For sure. The biggest advancements, and I said this earlier in the stream, the biggest level ups that you will have always come after major adversity, because most people get to that adversity and quit, and they don't push through, they don't continue, so they never reach that next level. So if you could just continue to fail forward, continue to just get back up. Who was it? Mike Tyson? Somebody said if you get knocked down 7 times, get up 8. Somebody, I don't know, was it Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson? You know what I mean? Like,
I think that was Muhammad Ali.
Somebody,
but Mike Tyson has a great quote too.
What's that?
Do you know?
Everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Ain't that the truth? That's funny as hell. But yeah, man, it's if you can manage yourself well and use the tools that we we talked about here today, being a self-reliant achiever, where you have a high competence level and a high level of commitment, there really isn't anything that you can't achieve. It sounds so cliche and so cheesy, but
thanks, Susie.
It really is true. Really is true. Anything else that we want to touch on today? Yeah, go for it. I didn't want to cut you off there.
Yeah. No, you're good. I just want to touch on that. The thing that you said right there is man, I lost it. Mother. You said you were talking about everyone has a plan. Oh, I guess the main point that I don't remember. I forgot. I lost what I was going to say when I saw
hate when that happens. To be a self-reliant achiever, you have to have a high level of competence and a high level of commitment, and there isn't anything that you cannot accomplish.
Got it. I was reading an article recently. Yeah, 100%. Susie Q threw me off with that happy birthday month. I was like sending her some wishes, some flowers, and I missed my train of thought. The point is that I was reading an article. I guess it was a week ago, a few weeks ago, a month ago, and it says something like 80% of Americans are working two full-time jobs right now. People need this more than ever.
That's crazy.
Right? People need this right now more than ever. Like you and I, we've put ourselves in a position where we're able to be independent, right? Financially independent, time independent, complete utter freedom. We can do what we want, when we want, however we want. You have a family, so you have a little more, you need that stability for the children, but I'm like completely free. I go wherever I want. But we've created this situation for ourselves, but there are so many people right now who are struggling, working 2 jobs just to get by, just to pay their bills, doing Uber on the side on the weekends, just to make ends meet, just to pay for gas, electricity, and my mom said the grocery cost for her is double what she normally spends. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is something that people are really dealing with right now in their real lives. People are working hard. And I just want to encourage anyone who feels like they can't do it, they can't become independent. It can be possible for you. Like if you can walk, you can talk, you can do sales, you can learn a new skill, you can go to school. You can do whatever it is that you feel like you need to do to get ahead. Don't let your own thinking hold you back. Like, take some initiative, take some action, do something every day to better yourself. Whether it's simple, like making your bed, or whether it's taking a course, whether it's learning something, like taking an online course, whether it's learning something new, learning a new skill, do something to combat this current lifestyle that people, that if you're in that boat where you're not able to do what you want, when you want, how you want, and have that freedom. Don't look at others. Some people look at others and say, oh, they got lucky on YouTube, right? Oh, they just,
Right.
they're a YouTuber and they're like jealous. They have that jealous emotion. They think they're a victim. I just want to like dispel that idea. Like, just drop it, and anyone can do these things. I'm not special. Like, you're not, like, we're not, like, I'm not a special person.
Right.
Like, you're not a special person. Like,
Ryan is not
we
special.
just work hard. Nope. Not special in any way, shape, or form. I'm normal. It's super normal. What I'm saying is, you just gotta you just gotta face and overcome the fear of failure, overcome the fear of it not working, and just push through the blizzard. Set a destination, set a course, and go after it. I hear stories from people that I know that are like really struggling financially these days. They're trying to like make, some people, it's like the gap, the middle America is like slowly getting smaller. So you get these huge differences of people that are like super wealthy or really independent, and then people that are really struggling to even like get groceries. And there's a path for those people. You can figure it out. Like, there's a way out of it if you're in that boat. And I think crypto might be one of those paths, to be honest. I mean, we have different ways that we do crypto. I mean, but we both have been successful in it. We haven't even talked about that at all. But that is one avenue that somebody could take to get ahead. And even like dollar cost averaging or whatever it might be, there's different techniques to get ahead. And you don't have to be a victim of your circumstances. Like, you can create your own path and your own destiny. And I just want to encourage anyone on the stream today, if you're not getting the results that you want, change your behavior. Go through those D1, D2, D3, D4 levels. Change your behavior, set your goal on what you want to achieve, develop that high competence level, and go after it.
I was doom scrolling yesterday, and I came across this video where this guy said, if you want to reprogram your subconscious, there's 3 things that you can do every single morning when you wake up. When you wake up, immediately go into the bathroom, and if you brush your teeth with your right hand, start using your left hand. Start brushing your teeth with your left hand. First thing. Second thing, look in the mirror and say, I love you 10 times. Damn, what was the third thing? I just had it.
I saw that too, and I can't remember. I saw that too.
Damn, there was one more thing. I forgot what it was. But it will help you. Yeah. It will help you to reprogram your subconscious. It will rewire your brain and allow you to start and begin to think differently. Damn, what was it? Left hand, brush your teeth. I forget what it was. I feel like I sent it to somebody. Hold on, because now it's going to drive me crazy until I can figure it out.
Here, Instagram, I got the video.
Sure.
This is a video right here. Oh, here, TikTok. Here we go. If your right hand, just start brushing your teeth with your left hand. Say I love you. Here, I got the video, but I don't want to pull up the video while we're on the stream. But there's let me see. Here. Oh, take 25 exaggerated deep breaths.
Yeah, watch it.
Oh, take 25 exaggerated deep breaths.
Yep. Deep breaths. So wake up, go in, brush your teeth with the opposite hand that you normally do. That didn't look good on camera. Then you opposite, of what you do, and then tell yourself I love you.
Get it double after.
And then we just had like 3 people leave the stream when I did that. and then the next one is 25 deep exaggerated breaths, and that will begin to change the way Dr. Amen or Jim Quick.
Yeah,
I guess is what Susie Q is saying. So
Evan Carmichael, that's the guy's name. Evan Carmichael. Give him some flowers.
That's wild that we both saw the same thing.
We all doom scroll these days. I mean, everyone's addicted to their phones. We all like scroll, even if we don't want to. Just 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. But I think we all do it. But before we wrap up, I want to see if we get an opportunity to like get any feedback from the people that are on the stream. I'd love to like
Yes.
see if they have anything that like they're experiencing that they're trying to overcome, or if they want to hop on and chat with us, or if they just want to post something in the chat. I just want to get like some feedback from people. Like, what is something right now that you're struggling with, that you're trying to overcome, that you're trying to achieve? Because like what I tend to find is when you have groups of people, like usually one person is struggling with something and like everyone is experiencing similar type struggles. So hearing one person's story sometimes like breaks it through to other people, like, hey, that's okay. Like I can feel this way because other people are experiencing it. So I just want to, throw it out there for anyone on the stream. If they are experiencing like any kind of difficulties, obstacles, anything they want to share. If nobody wants to share, that's cool too. I mean, we have a few people on. If they want to share, that's great. If not, that's great. Or if anybody wants to come on and talk, like you had mentioned that dude, I don't know if he's still connected, Crypto Heartbeat. Right. If he wants to come on,
he's
Matt,
probably on his own stream right now. Yeah, I will reach out to him and see if we can have him as a guest, or if he would be willing to come on next week. He's a founder of Texan Token, a couple of other things that they've got going on. He's working on a decentralized exchange, a DEX, that will be launching. I think it's called Freedom Swap, maybe. I don't know. Something along those lines. But yeah, man, I would love to have him on and have him talk about his different leadership roles and what got him to that level, and some of his biggest lessons along the way. We'll have to sit down and think of some really good questions for him, and I'll send you some links of some of his videos so you can get an idea of who he is. Sure. But he's an intellect. He's an amazing leader in the community that we're in, and I have a very high level of respect for him.
I'd love to, man. Anytime we can get together and mastermind, it's always awesome. You even interview. I mean, you always learn one golden nugget from someone. I hope that people got value from our stream today. People are here with us. I hope they learned something. They got some golden nugget, something they can implement to change their lives, change their business, change themselves. I mean, that's the name of the game. We're all trying to get to the next level, no matter where you are. We all want to level up, level up, level up, level up. We set a goal, we hit that goal, we set another goal, hit that goal, set another goal. It's just never ending. You just enjoy the process of growing and becoming better. So, I mean, that's the only things I want to talk about, unless you have something else that you want to hit on.
No, I think that's it, man. I want to thank everyone for joining us again this week. Last couple of weeks we've been a little busy, but we will continue to do this weekly. We usually do it Wednesdays. We had some company this week at our house, so it was a little bit difficult for us this week. They left this morning. Got some house cleaning done before I jumped on. Now I got to go eat real quick and clean some more, and then pick up my son and then clean some more. So we appreciate everyone tuning in. Set that goal. 5 years, 5 million. Doesn't have to take that long. It's very simple to accomplish. Ryan and I set that goal. When was that? Was that 2017 or 2018? I think we hit that goal, man. And it's super cool just to see how far we have come in just the past 10, 15 years of knowing each other. And it's going to be really awesome to see where we are in the next 10 to 15 years.
It gets faster. But, just like time speeds up, the results speed up. Yeah. Also,
when you have that momentum, it just goes.
Yeah, you know what would be cool too is if people, because we've had a few people connect like on multiple streams, you know what I mean? So if those people, they want to like send a question in, or if they have a request on something they want us to riff on or talk about, that would be cool too, because we can kind of crowdsource some different topics. I mean, obviously we could talk for days about leadership. I mean, it's limitless, and it's really the same, 20 or so principles in different forms, right? It just kind of hits to the same core principles over and over again. But if you want to hear from a different perspective, maybe in something that you're dealing with, then share that knowledge, like send it somehow. They can connect with one of us. You are probably the easiest one on Twitter, or somehow
we'll put some posts out on Twitter asking questions or for questions, if there's something specific that people want that we can expand on, for sure. We can absolutely do that 100%.
You hit him with one main point, and then we'll just riff on that. Because I mean, I don't know. I just want to see people succeed. I want to see people who aren't where they are get to where they want to be. And hopefully we can just, lubricate that path a little bit and even just give one thing to help them get there, that's going to be powerful. And then we'll just keep growing it, keep accumulating more people. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride, man. I'm pumped about this.
It really is. It really is. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Ryan, for being here to share your wealth of knowledge. And we will see you guys soon. Peace.
Peace.